That's always a glorious way to greet people, isn't it, with my arms out like that? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Debs Cooper, global stressologist, here coming in live from Houston in America, different time zone. It's 3:30 in the afternoon here on the Thursday, and I know I'm talking to people all around the world. So I'd love to let me know where you are in the world. Hashtag replay would be awesome, or even just where you are would be flipping cool, so I can see where everybody is. Thank you for joining me. So I'm here actually to be part of Dr. John DeMartini's facilitator crew, as tomorrow we help people deal with some events that have happened in their life that have caused a little bit of wobbles, as I say, and it's called the breakthrough experience. If you haven't experienced the breakthrough experience, private message me and let me know, because it's a phenomenal event. It's a 2-day. I'm gonna say, but it's intense. It's definitely a head exercise. But when you come out the other side of it, you're a completely different person. Now, there's no rah-rah, there's no dancing, well, unless you want to get up and dance, but no one else does. It's a very, very, very different event where you're actually dealing with something that's happened in your world that you like or don't like, and it helps you transform that to the next level of evolution for you. So actually, funnily enough, as I talk about today's events, as I talk about today being time management tips to reduce stress, that's actually a really great one, because the first one is delegate it. Actually, if you're looking at something, delegate it. Who knows? Oops, I don't know what's happened there. Who knows something that you know? You know, we do a lot of referrals. I need a plumber. Someone goes, oh, I know a plumber. I need an electrician. Oh, I know an electrician. I need a hairdresser. I know a hairdresser. I need a new VA. Going through that. Oh, I know someone who I can refer you to. So actually, that's a really great tip to start with. So look at your network. Time management tips to reduce stress. Look at your network, ask around, do you know anybody? Now, I put an advert on social media just for my VA who's resigned, and I had over 100 applicants. Now, right now, I'm already drowning. So to get these 100 applicants, I'm like, whoa, what am I going to do? How am I going to go through all this on my own? So I've now got somebody to help me on board with that, because there's no way I can literally manage and go through 100 applicants on my own, and they're still coming in. So tip number one, grab your note-taking device, whatever that is. If it's your iPad, your pen, your pencil, whatever it is, type as we go along. Grab your note-taking device, and these are in no particular order. So tip number one is clearly delegate. And when I say delegate, ask your network of people. Do you know someone who can help me with this? Do you know someone who can help me with this? Do you know somebody who can take this over? Because we all want to help each other. So there's the tip number one. And if you don't know about the breakthrough experience and you want to know, drop me a private message and I'll let you know the details, because he's traveling around the world now, no longer as much on screen. So tip number two, as we jump from tip number one, tip number two is brain dump. And I'm a firm believer in brain dumping, because we all know what brain dumping is like. And it's literally get everything. Now, when I say everything, I want everything out of your head that is causing a delay in doing things, or even just if you're thinking about it, if you've thought about it twice in the last hour or the last day or the last week, it's got to get out of here, because it's repeating in there. So everything, walk around your house and go, this needs doing, this needs doing, this needs doing. Talk to your children, what needs done for them. Talk to your colleagues, what needs done. Wherever you are in your business, get everything out that you think has to be out, because what you're doing is you're removing the flowers, you're removing the weeds actually from your head, and you're planting flowers. When you remove all this stuff, it frees it up for more space, for more things to come in. But then what we're going to do is we're going to put inspiring things in there, because if you're seriously about looking at time management and you're going to reduce the stress, we want to replace that, what's in there, with something that's more fulfilling. So if you've got friends that are doing certain things and you don't like them, brain dump that as well. Get it all out. So you want to have a clear head, a freed brain, as I would say. I'm trying to figure out how to actually say it, because people have said to me all day today when I've gone, oh, listen to your accent. I'm like, you're the one who's got the accent. It's all fun and games, isn't it? Once you've brain dumped, you can actually start to see clearer. You know what I'm talking about? When you actually brain dump, you can start going, oh, I can see that. Oh, I can see what that is. And actually that task is not as bad as what I thought. Then you're going to break them into 4 categories. And those 4 categories are: do it. Clearly we know what do it means. Do it. Defer it. means it's not going to get done today, it's not going to get done tomorrow, I'll do it when it does. Delegate. Make sure when you defer it, you put a decent, realistic time frame on. Delegate it. Delegate it meaning giving it to somebody else to do, but only when you're delegating, it's really great to actually only give to people who like to do that task. Because if I give somebody a cleaning job, not that I have any, but I give someone a cleaning job and they don't like cleaning, what's going to happen to my job? It's going to be pretty uninspiring for some. If I give a VA role and they're not a VA, yeah, can you do this? No, we've all learnt that. Do it, defer it, delegate it, or dump it. Literally dump it. Cross it from your list, dump it, it's done. That's it. The 4 Ds. Do it, defer it, delegate it, or dump it. Keep it pretty simple. So the other thing is to prioritise tasks. So when I'm talking about prioritising tasks, this will actually stop you from feeling overwhelmed. So I did some research on this. I did some research on this topic actually because, you know, as much as I'm a genius, there was things I want to learn. And there's this thing called the, hang on, let me just go. It's Eisenhower Matrix. Eisenhower matrix. Now, the Eisenhower matrix is what's urgent and what's important. So that's putting that time frame on there. So you want to categorize your task and focus on what truly matters. That's going to give you the best result with the biggest result in the quickest amount of time that you can get things done. So that's actually what's urgent. It needs to be done now to calm your farm for everybody else, and what's important. The other thing is you want to break your tasks into just little bite-sized actions. And when you go, actually this whole one day I'm going to have to do this, it's actually only 4 steps that's going to take me 2 hours each one. And then we can break those one step that's going to be 2 hours into another step, bite-sized action again. And then a bite-size, and then a bite-size again. So what you're doing is you're chunking it down so it actually becomes really easy when you look and you go, oh, that task isn't that bad after all. I can do this. And then you can actually do it and not just go, I need a whole day to get it done. I need a whole day. Where am I going to get a whole day? No one has a whole day spare. And you can actually put it into those bite-sized action steps. But when you're doing this stuff, ensure that it's actually focusing on your long-term goal. This is not someone else's goal. This is your goal. It's showing that it's actually in alignment with you, because otherwise it's going to be a real pain in the jacks if it's not. So the next tip I'm going to say is to manage your distractions. There's actually another technique that I googled, and it's called, hang on, Pomodoro. That's always a good look, isn't it? Pomodoro technique. Okay, so this is when you're working in short and it's like a sprint. So you're focusing on the sprints and then you're having a break. Or you're in the gym and they go 10 reps of this and then you have a 1 minute break. So you're actually getting as much done as you can in that time, and then you're having a pause and then you're going back. Now, that's one that works for you if that works for you, but sometimes it doesn't. It's not going to work for me. I've looked and I've gone, I'm not going to go hell for leather. That didn't work for me, but there's a lot of people out there who love that technique. So when you're doing this technique, you also want to look at what's your distractions around you. What's your distractions around? Like, could be your social media, it could be family, it could be dogs, animals. It could be social media, it could be anything on your computer. So when it comes to those things, put things into silent mode. If you're going to get on a Facebook Live, although in saying that I haven't, put your phones on silent mode. Put those things away so you're actually not distracted. I mean, ideally where I would be normally, those things are behind me so I don't go, oh, who's messaging me now in the middle of a Facebook? Oh, hi mum, how you going? Yep, I'll come back to you in a minute. We don't want those distractions because they literally take us off path. Nothing about that, mum. Hi mum. I'll say it here. I won't pretend my phone's there because my phone's clearly not. So you want to identify those distractions, and then you want to put an area to actually block them away from you. Now, it's not forever. But so for me, one of the distractions I have is phone, clearly. So my phone has different rings. For my family, it has a ring. For clients, it has a ring or a message that comes through. For my high priority clients, they have a different ring again. So I just know that's an urgent one. Or, oh, that's my family. It can go down the back of the pecking order. Not really, mum and dad. I love you dearly. And, oh yeah, by the way, I made it to Houston safely yesterday. So when you're doing this, ensure that you have a focus zone. focus zone is what I was talking to somebody today. In your day where you can work uninterrupted on these really impactful tasks that are not going to be effective when other people can come in and see you. The next tip I'm going to give you is without guilt. Because when you're setting boundaries with guilt, there's just a icky part of this. And when I say icky part of this, so when you're setting boundaries, ensure that you tell others with clear, concise communication and with your expectation. So you want to say things like, I don't have the capacity right now, or I can't take that on with my bandwidth right now, instead of going, no, sorry, I really can't. Oh, I'm really sorry about that. Like, they don't want to hear that whole thing. They just want to hear a basic no and then to move on, because they've got a long list of people they're going to ask. It's not just you. So you want to be using the language like, I don't have the capacity right now, or my bandwidth can't take me. I can do that in a couple of days. You can say things like that if you legit can. Don't just say that out of guilt, but you can actually say no. And I think that's the thing. You want to be sure that you have non-negotiable self-care time. And I put that into my calendar as glitter time. So if people come into there, it's up to me if I want to pick and choose and put somebody in that time. Now, that glitter time allows me to read a book outside, not outside here, but back home, read a book, or go to a beauty appointment, or spend some time with the family or something. And it's my time, that's that glitter time. Now, I will occasionally put a client in there if there's an urgency. In fact, I do actually have one client that comes every fortnight, and she goes into my glitter time because she is one of the most, I have no problem slotting her into my glitter time, and it works for her and it works for me, and it just works. So ensure that your boundaries feel right and they're non-negotiable. But I talked briefly about saying no before, and I want to jump back into saying that no, because when you're saying no, it actually does free up your time. But when you say no, no is not a no permanently. And no is not right now, but maybe tomorrow, or not right now, but maybe another time, or not right now, let me think about it. So when you say no to somebody, there's a yes behind the door that someone else is going to say yes. So you want to be intentional about what you're committing to. So it's important to be polite. And you can say things like, that sounds great, but I need to prioritize my current commitments. Or that sounds great, but just today's not going to work for me. Or that sounds invigorating for you, because it may not sound great, but I'm already committed to doing something. So you want to say things like that don't come across as arsey, I'll just say it, as arsey, but actually firm. So there's no way of them, are you sure? You're sure? Yeah, totally, I'm committed to something else. Now, you don't have to tell them what your commitments are. You have to say, oh, it's because of this excuse. You can just say, I'm committed. Now, your commitment could be you, could be your glitter time. You don't have to tell them anything. It's just what works for you. Because if you take on someone else's task and it's really mundane and boring and it's not for you, it's just going to deplete you, and it's going to put a strain on that connection between you and that person. So that's where it comes back to those 4 Ds about delegating or outsourcing the tasks that don't inspire you. Now, the other thing is we want to schedule some things. So when I talk about time blockers, and I talked about putting my time away with my glitter time, ensure when you do that there is a buffer time for you. So if I book an hour consultation with somebody, I'm going to put 15 minutes before to make sure I'm in the zone and I've got myself prepared for that call. And I'm going to put 15 minutes after that call. And the reason I do that is just in case we finish a little bit later, 5 minutes later. I don't want to have the next person waiting for me. But also it gives me time to actually just tidy my notes up, finish that off, close that tab or close that my brain width of that person, and then I can focus on the next person. Because anything you don't close just gets added into the basket of the next one. And if I'm having people straight after the other, I will just go absolutely nutto, and no one's going to get the same time and energy and effort from me as what I deserve to give them and they deserve to give me. So just ensure that that's sitting right with you. Now, the next word I'm going to use starts with R. And you're probably going, oh, what's that word? And so this is actually a routine. So you want to have a routine that works for you, but actually not against you. Okay? It works for you, but not against you. So you want to have something that's based on your energy levels. So if you're going to schedule your deep work, do it when you're most alert. If you're going to schedule a mundane task, that's something you can do when you're not as bright and funky in your brain. So for me, I'm either a morning person or a night person. Now, I love my mornings, absolutely. And night, my words start getting discombobulated. They start, well, that was just the chair moving. The words start slowing into one and I miss out bits of my sentence. Now that's at night. I'm fully aware of that. So I'm not going to book a consultation late at night. 11 o'clock at night, I ain't doing that. I'm in bed at 9:30 at the latest. If that, sometimes I'm even in bed at 8:30. But for me, my morning is, and I'm up at 4. Up at 4, awake at 4, I'm alive. This is where I'm going, what am I doing? Now, for me, I know what I can schedule in at that 4:30 time slot, but I also know what I can schedule at 8 o'clock at night. Not much, by the way, not much. But it's important to create flexibility. Now, when I'm talking about flexibility, I'm talking about, dude said I get up at 4 a.m. every morning. Well, if you get up at 4:03, then you've failed, haven't you? So we don't want that stuff. So be flexible with your expectations and life's expectations, because 2020, which is actually 5 years ago when I think about that, that threw our whole expectation and our whole time planning, and a lot of flexibility had to come into play just like that, pretty much overnight. So ensure that you've actually bought in flexibility to account for everything. And when you're evaluating your weekly routine, so when I say this, you could get to the end of the day and go, okay, now what could I have done at a different time frame? What could I have done? Do I need more time? And you could just go, okay, so that particular task I thought took 10 minutes, but it actually takes 15. So then block out 20 for that, just in case. You're better to give more time and get through it quicker than actually less time and panic because the job's not done. So just know next time when you do that task, it may take that amount of time. You better to have that time so you can have more time left. And then you can have a schedule that says things that need doing, not urgent. And then you can go, oh, I've got 5 minutes spare, I'll do that there. I'm getting through my tips as quick as I can. The other one I'm going to say is be courteous. And I've noticed this when I was walking around the mall today. And the Americans, they call me ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And I'm like, oh, this is so sweet. We don't get that in New Zealand. I think, I don't know. We just don't. So when you're nice to people, they're nice back to you. But ensure that you're actually being nice to yourself. So I want to say be courteous. So even if someone's you don't know what people are going through. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And if you do already know what's going on behind the scenes, you will not know to the extent that they have in their head. Only you know what's going on in your head 100%. I can say to people, yeah, I'm good. Things are working away. Yet I've got 100 tabs open in my head of things that need doing. So people are like, oh, why is she distracted? Why is she thinking about things? Oh, she's so rude. No, actually, no, I'm not. My head is so full. So you don't know what's going on in my world. So be courteous, be gentle, treat people as you would like to be treated yourself. And that's just a beautiful reminder after walking around the shopping mall this morning, checking out things. And I only bought a salad and a drink and some fries. That's all, Mum. Right, the next one is intuition. Now, when you're talking about time management for your tips to reduce stress, your intuition is already telling you this is a shitty job, or this is a great job, or I don't know if you can do this. Your intuition is always going to tell you what that is. So don't let it fester. Don't let it lie in. Actually listen to it and go, okay, so I need a little bit of help here. I'm going to do that, and you're going to get some help. That's the easiest way to get you through. So do not lie to your intuition. It does not lie to you. Your mind tells little lies, but your intuition always tells you the truth. The next one I'm going to say is your glitter bomb. And when I talk about your glitter bomb, ensure that you're glitter bombing yourself and it helps you stay fulfilled. Now that could be celebrate any small win, because we all know the small wins are actually grand wins in the end, because if you get 5 small wins, there's 5 things you've achieved today that have a ripple effect that are grand. So when you're having those small wins, it's important to celebrate them. And you want to have some fun and play your schedule. Even if after you do this task, you get up and you do 5 star jumps. Now, I'm not a star jump kind of girl, but something different that just changes your state, changes your energy. Just, a few minutes can just change anything. A minute. Just ensure that you have meaningful rewards for you. So when I talk about my glitter time, I'm a firm believer I've actually just got over there, my favourite lipstick. And if I'm having a funk, I'll put my favourite lipstick on or my perfume. Now, I'm not saying you need lipsticks or perfumes or anything, but whatever that is to light you up. If you want to have a nice candle around, if you want to just go outside and have a walk, whatever that is, ensure that your glitter bomb is things that light you up. It could also be jumping onto a podcast of our Deliciously Motivated Mindset podcast that I do with my buddy Moira and me, or you can jump onto one of these Facebook Lives and you can look at all my videos. Get onto my YouTube. There's always something there for you to do that might just light you up. It might just change your energy. And the last tip for this is, this person here. And this is me. Clearly, this is me. So I'm a stressologist. I am here for you. Debs is here. So I will help navigate whatever's going on in your world, and we'll condense it down to a simple version, whatever's happening in your head, down to a simple version that allows you to move forward. So please message me. 19 years I've been in this business. You know why it works is because I have been to most of the places everybody's been to. And I'm not talking about Houston. I've been to the ringer and back. I can tell you my stories and you'll probably cringe at half them. I don't share a lot of them, by the way. You're welcome to ask. But I've been there. I know what it's like to go through stuff, and I've got through the other side. So 19 years, I can help you with your business, your physical, your finance, your family commitments, your mental awareness, your social influence, your spirituality is what lights you up in your heart. Any of those things, with addictions, with any chaos that you have that's stopping you from being any more freaking magnificent than you already are, I am here for you. It's not as hard as what you think. I'm just going to give you that. Now, I may have gone over. Whoops. So they were my time management tips to reduce stress. I want to thank you for coming today. Thank you for listening to me. I cannot see if anyone's on, so if I didn't acknowledge you, I'm going to say whoops. I'll add that into the settings so I can figure out what's going on. But if you like today, let me know what tip you really liked. And are you going to implement it? Or are you going to share that? I'd love to know that. So thanks for joining me, Debs Cooper, Global Stressologist, on time management tips to reduce stress. I want to thank you for being here today, and I will see you next week from Denver. I'm off to Denver to be with John again. Thanks, people. See you later. Bye.